this.
今の実力ではここを超えることができない。プロスケートボードゲームみたいになってきてますけど。
I'm a selfish man who lives life according to his own rules, with no interest in common sense.
自覚はあったんだ。
Naturally, this makes me terrible at reading.
What do y'all want? I'm kind of busy here.
僕っ子か。これはなかなかポイントが高いですね。浮かれ保安官事務所。
Son of a... How did this happen in my town? God
こ
damn it!
んなこともあり得るかと思いましたが。
The head and limbs were severed and lined up, according to the lines that were drawn with her blood. Just like migratory birds flying systematically across the sky. Hey, Zach, what do you think this means?
They're severed roots.
Severed roots?
This is the way the Clarksons kill someone when they want to cut him off from the family.
And how do you know about this?
Everyone in town knows about it. They're just too scared to talk.
What does the V stand for, then?
Beats me. What, you think I know everything now?
Vilitatio. It means quarrel in Latin. That's what the V stands for.
Latin. Intriguing, isn't it, Zach? There are no defense wounds on the corpse. In other words, Galena showed no signs of resistance when she was amputated. But, strangely enough, there are small traces of subcutaneous bleeding around the wounded areas. That's a vital reaction, which means she couldn't have been dead.
You mean...
Yes, that's right, Patty. Galena was amputated while she was still alive, and she never resisted.
Is that even possible?
It certainly isn't impossible. For example, if she was put to sleep with a drug, or if she desired the amputation herself.
Why would she ever desire that?
Mr. York, I'm sorry, but there ain't no way that could have happened.
How can you be sure of that, Melvin? Our world contains phenomena that could never be explained with logic. This is especially true for phenomena in which humans are involved. Do you really think all the facets of love and hate can be explained with logic?
Well, no, I don't reckon I do. Yeah, might be too early to rule out those possibilities, just like you say.
Zach, now we truly know just how deeply the Clarksons are involved with this. Patty, how long does it take to reach the Clarkson estate?
Just a short drive. You just gotta head west along the Mississippi. You can't miss it.
Got it. Thank you, Patty. By the way, Melvin, no matter how accelerated Patty may be, don't you think she's still a bit too young to see something like this? For the record, I have no intent to instruct others on how to raise their children, but...
Holy moly, you're right! Patricia, CLG! Come on, sweetie. Kids shouldn't have to see stuff like this.
Daddy, it's too late now.
重要な参考人ガリーナはルカレをとりあえず殺害されてしまったってところですね。殺害されてしまったクラクソン系が大きく関わっているようだと。はい、皆さんこんにちは、こんばんは、もしくはおはようございます。デッドリープリモニション実況プレイの第8回目ですかね。Mugakuです。続きをやっていきたいと思います。
You sure you okay, CLG?
I'm fine. Besides, I'm used to seeing stuff like that on CSI. You're the one who looks pale, Daddy.
Well, it did shake me up a little, but I'll be back to normal in no time. Sorry about that, Mr. York. What say we rest in the interrogation room till we all calm down, CLG?
Sure thing, Daddy. I'm gonna go sit with Daddy for a bit, Agent York. We can join back up later.
どちらが保護者かもう分かりませんね。
Galena killed her daughter, so her family cut ties with her. Do you really think that's what happened here, Zach?
そんな単純な話じゃない気がするんですけどね。
If this is truly the ritual that the Clarksons used to cut ties with someone, why would they go out of their way to do it here, in a holding cell? They could have easily done it after we released her. And judging from how Danny Clarkson was acting, I think how could he accept this grotesque butchering, even if it was for the sake of the family? There's no point in ruminating on this. We should get back to the investigation. As long as we keep moving, the answer will inevitably fling itself straight at us.
さて、この状況を打破するには、とりあえずクラークソン家に向かう方がいいんでしょうかね。ちょっと情報を集める必要があると思います。ん？出てきたな。あ、そんな登場。
You found the flying serpent, but now the flying serpent will come to find you.
Yeah, that sounds right. And it looks like this flying serpent is a venomous one.
Some become feasts, while others are eaten alive. Which fate would you prefer?
Both sound marvelous, but let me check with Zach.
A fine answer. Find the one who fired the pistol at heaven. Within the white hall of beds, brandish the ticket to the goddess. And once again, you will see the other world. Do you comprehend the oracle?
Zach, it looks like he's hell-bent on leading us back into that other world.
Follow the oracle.
Oh, I will, Hungan. There are only two types of things in our world. Things that should be resisted and things that should be accepted. And I believe this oracle is something to accept.
寝台の並ぶ白い家って病院ってことですか？
Do you think we're crazy for believing everything that skeletal gentleman says? No, we're not crazy. Not one bit. This is our but I shouldn't need to explain that to you, Zach. The one who fired the pistol at heaven. Firing pistols at the sky might be a rather common occurrence for the South. Remember? Young Guns, 1988, directed by Christopher Kane. There's that great scene where Emilio Estevez keeps firing his Colt M1877 up at the sky. Oh, but that film took place in New Mexico, didn't it? And the Oracle probably isn't referring to a situation like that.
ピス
It's
トル
got
を
to be
手
for
に
some
向け
purpose
て。
other than an attack or a threat. Raising a pistol up to the sky, then slowly pulling the trigger, kind of sounds like the start to a race. Don't you agree, Zach? Bingo, Zach. We're currently running a race here. And the one who started this murder investigation is indeed the one who fired the pistol at heaven. In other words, the person who first discovered the body. According to the files, Lisa's body was discovered by Chuck Thompson, a crawfish farmer. He apparently works out of a fishing hut located in the marshes south of the bayou.
全然お告げからね、連想できなかったから、めっちゃ適当に選びましたけどね。
Let's go pay him a visit.
そんな情報今までの話の中出てきました？
Who knows? We might even get to see some crawfish. What? Why isn't the murderer the one who started this race? Zach, this isn't like you. Of course the murderer isn't the one who started the race. The murderer's running it. They're currently in first place, and they're breaking all the rules. Any more objections, Zach?
ルールを破って先
Within the
頭を
white
走っ
hall
てい
of
る。
beds. This one is even easier. There are only a few establishments that have a whole hall's worth of beds, especially in a small town like this. I'm sure you've already got a pretty good idea about what the answer is, Zach. Beds all lined up. Only an amateur would hear that and think it must be referring to a brothel. I mean, come on. Who would ever use White Hall as a symbol for a bordello? No, a white house refers to the same place no matter what country you're in. You never disappoint me, Zach. It's a medical facility.
あ、そうか、医療施設って言ってたな。
They invite their patients into rooms full of beds where they're tended to by doctors and nurses clad in white. It's definitely a white hall where people are invited into beds. You always manage to impress me with your intuition. I'm really counting on you here, Zach, and I know I'll always be able to.
これからもずっと一緒。もうこうふとしたタイミングでこう心をえぐってくるのやめてくれませんかね。
Agent York, you trying to leave without your trustworthy assistant?
Hello there, Patty. I'd never attempt such a thing. I was simply engaging in a battle of wits with Hoongan while I waited for you.
Hoongan?
また変なこと言ってるって思われてますよね。
Yes, the skeletal gentleman in the top hat.
Not that story again. Is this how you always conduct your investigations?
This is the way I work.
I bet you can't find a single partner, not even in the entire FBI.
That's not true. I always work together with Zach.
Oh, right. Zach. Don't worry. I'll be your partner while you're here in our town.
頼もしい限りですね。
Now, let's go investigate.
さあ、目的地が2つ現れましたね。第一発見者のザリガニ漁師のところに向かうか、まあ、福音教会に行くかと。これは
How's your mama? So, you're that hotshot FBI agent I keep hearing about.
And who might you be?
I came to claim the body of my daughter. My daughter, who was murdered in a holding cell after you detained her yesterday.
フィリップ・J. クラークソン。
Zach, I wasn't expecting to run into the final boss this early. You must be the head of the Clarkson family, P.J. Clarkson. And you've come to claim the body of Galena Clarkson, whose dismembered corpse was found early this morning. Is that correct? Where did you learn that Galena had been murdered? Zach and I just learned of the news ourselves.
This is Lou Corey. And I am P.J. Clarkson. There ain't a single thing I don't know about this town.
I see. So then you must also know about the Severed Roots ritual. I have a question for you, Philip. We suspect that Galena was murdered by someone from the Clarkson family. Have you given that possibility any consideration?
Listen up, you FBI piece of shit. You better watch your manners around my pa.
Shut up, Daniel.
But, sir... My bad, sir.
I'll have you know I once had 3 children. But I must not have raised them very well, because my son and my eldest daughter both ran away and never came back
長
to
女と
me.
長男が出ていった。
The only one who stayed by my side was my second daughter, Galena. Then she done married Daniel here into the family and presented me with both an heir and a granddaughter. Seemed for a while as if things were finally starting to calm down. But then, someone corrupted both Galena and Lise. And I lost everything. Aside from my shit-heel son-in-law, that is. You understand me, FBI?
Galena's death is nothing but a loss for the Clarkson family.
That doesn't mean the Clarksons are automatically innocent, though. Humans don't always act out of self-interest, do they?
That mouth. You're starting to sound more and more like your mother.
これ明らかに
We're leaving, Daniel.
What? But my treasure.
Now, whether you end up being an angel or a demon, I reckon you're the man I've been waiting for all this time. Once you finish that autopsy and we're clear to take her home, I want you to give me a call.
They're phenomenal, Patty. So perfectly rural. Ominous statements, foul-mouthed insults. This town possesses a complicated system of communication that you just can't find in the city. Work-centric emails are so cold and lifeless. This is what true human connections feel like. Connections as visceral as blood itself.
So, Agent York, what's next on your agenda?
The last boss may have gotten the jump on us, Patty, but I didn't let him shake my resolve. I intend to obey the skeletal gentleman's oracles, and that's that. First, we should head to either the home of the person who discovered Lisa's body or to the town's medical facility. Well, Zach, what do you think?
「相変わらずね、ヨークさんの感動ポイントというかね、関心ポイントはちょっと変わってますけどね。
It really seemed like you knew who Galena Clarkson was.
Well, I've never actually talked to her. But it's a small town. Pretty much all folks know who the Clarksons are. And Galena's supposed to be extra scary compared to the rest of them. Back when we saw her in town, I felt like she was glaring right at me. So I got real scared. No one will come out and say it, but I'm pretty sure they're all relieved that she was the killer. We're lucky the killer ended up being a member of the Clarkson family. Otherwise, the whole town would have turned into a battlefield.
なるほどね。向かうのは M23 の方かな。リースの遺体第一発見者ジャックさんを訪ねてみましょうか。皆さんもご覧になっててね、感じるかどうかわからないんですけど、おっと。
Were you thinking about Galena too? And all the other women we've seen so far on our travels across the states?
めっちゃぶつかって会話が中断されてしまいました。今回のお話ね、結構1に比べると雰囲気が違うっていうか、街の雰囲気によるところもあると思うんですけど、1の方がなんかこう猟奇殺人感が強かったんですよね。で、あとやっぱりね、ちょっとなんか操作をしてるっていう感覚が若干1に比べて弱い感じがするんですけど、なんでだろうなって思ってたんですが、これおそらくね、原因は オラクルのせいだと思うんですよね。なんか基本的にオラクルに沿って導かれて話が進んでるので、ヨークさんがこう操作をしてるっていう感じがあんましないんですよね。ここが唯一今のところ不満点。あとは細かいね、ロードとかいろいろあるんですけど、まあ、私がストーリーに関して感じている不満点はここの部分だけですね。他のところはやっぱりね、デッドリープリモニションだなって思いながら楽しくプレイしてるんですけど。
Hey, wanna talk about bridges? Why? I've become obsessed with bridges, Zach, and there's no turning back now. Remember what we saw on our way here? Back when we were driving that hybrid car before we switched over to the skateboard. We passed over the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway, the longest bridge over water in the entire world. Remember the sudden downpour that made it impossible for us to see the road? The rain was so torrential that we couldn't see more than a few miles ahead of us. I'm sure local drivers are used to that sort of thing. They were all going normal speeds. I'll bet that scene reminded you of a certain film. Or perhaps a certain person. Violent City, 1970. Directed by Sergio Solima. I only ever saw it on TV when I was a kid, so I don't remember it very well. But I definitely remember that it featured a bridge. A long bridge. During the New Orleans part, that's the one thing I remember. That bridge must have been the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway. And the film starred Charles Bronson. Charles Bronson. What an amazing sound. You couldn't possibly find another man whose name matches his appearance so perfectly. Yes, of course I know that Charles Bronson isn't his real name. Charles Dennis Buczynski. That's his real name, but he's Bronson. Period. Zach, what's your... Did you notice it yet? The streets in New Orleans were a mess. All busted up and undergoing maintenance. The city was built on a swamp, so the ground...
おっとっとっと。なんだこれ。ここどうにかしないといけないのかな。謎のカメラワーク。
Okay, Zach. It's time to put our skills to the test.
ちょっと待って。そういう突破の仕方？いや、もっと平和的な突破の仕方あるんじゃないこれ。めっちゃ壊れましたよ。結構スケボーっていいやつだと何万とかするみたいですからね。大丈夫ですかこれ。
Well, Zach, it seems as if we've reached an impasse. I'm afraid we won't be able to proceed any further like this.
今の実力ではここを超えることができない。プロスケートボードゲームみたいになってきてますけど。
Lucari Tiger to DC Eagle? Is everything alright?
Hello, Melvin. Sadly, my darling just gave out on me.
Your darling? You mean...
Yes, that's right. My beloved skateboard. I know the chances are slim, but do you happen to know of any establishments in town that can repair skateboards? Please, I hope this doesn't offend you. Neither Zach nor I would ever dare to assume that a remote country town like this would have a skateboard shop in it. But perhaps you have at least one eccentric who likes to tinker with them in their spare time.
I know just the person.
いるんだ。
Double bass player by night, trick master by day. God blessed her with two talents, and her name is Emma Sanders.
エマ・サンダース。
Emma?
That's right. She's Pastor Sanders' adopted
リース・クラクソンの親
daughter.
友。
Who's also Lise Clarkson's best friend. Emma really knows her stuff. She's got tools and a mountain of parts. So I'm sure she'll be able to help.
I owe you one, Melvin. Zach, I never thought we'd find our very own skateboard mentor out here in the sticks. Let's head straight to Emma. What is it, Zach? Why didn't I just ask the sheriff to tow away the old cars? But isn't it obvious? I want to overcome this obstacle using my own strength. In fact, I want to soar over it.
根本的になんか事件の取り組み姿勢がね間違ってる気がするんですけど。エマさん、スケートボードのね、 まあなんかすごい腕前をお持ちのエマさんに、とりあえず、ボードを修理してもらわないといけないですね。めちゃくちゃ遠くないこれ。スケートボードショップ多分これだよな。めっちゃ遠くないこれ。とりあえず道はもう一直線みたいですけど、これちょうどタクシー呼ぶような、タクシーっていうか、何でしたっけ、ヤッホーさん呼ぶようなところもあんまなさそうですし、ただひたすらに遠いですね、これ。しかも今全然走れませんからね。
You didn't even twitch when you saw Galina's body.
Why would I? Dead things can't hurt us, right?
Girls your age don't usually think that way.
Do you have kids, Agent York?
No, I don't. I'm not married either.
Then you have no idea how girls my age usually think. Besides, I'm used to seeing dead bodies thanks to CSI. Especially dismembered corpses like hers. You know, for a so-called profiling professional, you're pretty clueless.
In that case, allow me to apologize. But don't you think it's a bit of a leap to discount my observational abilities simply because corpses don't scare you?
I don't know. I mean, you're completely wrong.
Do you know what I was thinking back there then?
Of course not. I'm not a pro.
The same goes for me, Patty. No manner of pro could ever know 100% of what another person is thinking. Unless, of course, that pro has a mental connection with them, like Zach and I have. If I was telepathic, I wouldn't have joined the FBI. I would have taken over a small country or become a messiah.
Now who's making crazy leaps?
I will admit, though, Patty, I feel like you and I have something in common. We definitely have similarities, even though they aren't as strong as the ones that Zach and I share.
Whatever.
Perhaps you and I grew up under similar circumstances. We're both unique cases.
Huh? Unique cases?
In your case, your beautiful mother's second husband became your daddy, but then your mama got sick, forcing you to take care of things, while you used CSI as your escape.
Would you just knock it off? I ain't trying to act like some tragic heroine here. And I don't care that my daddy isn't the same color as me. You're way more narrow-minded than I took you for, Agent York.
Narrow-minded? You're just realizing this now? Of course I'm narrow-minded. I'm a selfish man who lives life according to his own rules, with no interest in common sense. Naturally, this makes me terrible at reading situations, and I often end up angering people by total accident. But is it really that big of a problem? I've still made a contribution to society by solving numerous difficult cases, and I'm still terribly charming. And I'm still terribly charming.
You and I have absolutely nothing in common. What kind of circumstances does a kid even need to end up like you?
Try asking Zach. It's not my place to answer that one.
まあね、確かに。まあ、ザックさんというかヨクさんがね、若干癖のある育ち方をしてしまうのはしょうがないかなと思うんですが、
Thou art a seeker.
まあ、ちょっとせっかくなんでね、途中でこのエジリフレーダーに寄ってみようかなと。ある程度アイテムが溜まったんでね、なんか作れるんじゃないかなと思うんですけど。威力。
Where's the thing I just bought?
All awaits thee at the altar.
祭壇に。
Altars exist, whether thy needs exist. The bedchamber of thy hostelry doth possess one therewith.
So where's my thing?
All altars lead to the other realm. Thusly, all periapts in thy possession may be confirmed at any altar.
祭壇で装備ができるってことかな?
Any mirror may metamorphose into an entrance to the other realm. Prithee, say thou doth grasp this wisdom.
鏡のあるところが入
You
り
can see
口。
the same world as the skeletal gentleman?
I am the mirror. As my name doth suggest, I am the looking glass given flesh.
Zach, it appears that there's still a lot about this world that we don't understand. This is the deep south. There's no telling what might happen next.
祭壇をアンロックしました。 これか。祭壇では銃具を装備することができます。まずは装備する場所を選択し、好みの銃具を装備しましょう。通常弾の威力がアップするということか。これでいいのかな？
What a strange feeling. It looks like there are spots to place other items as well. If we find anything that seems like it might fit, let's bring it back here. What? You think that sounds like a pain in the neck? Surely you know that all rituals work this way. Blessings from beyond will only come to those who exhibit the finest level of courtesy and reverence. In short, they're reflections of the self. Only with a mind deep in the dirt will you know true tranquility. Then your... Who came up with that quote? That one was all me, Zach.
あなたの言葉ですか。それはちょっと存じ上げませんでしたね。なんだかんだね。結構時間かかりましたけれども、ここが目的の場所のようですね。エマのスケボー工房。
Hey, Agent York. I feel like someone's in there. Let's go and see.
Ah, この方演奏してた方か。
Huh? What do y'all want? I'm kind of busy here.
僕っ子か。これはなかなかポイントが高いですね。
Are you Emma?
Yeah. Who are you?
Francis York Morgan. I'm an FBI special agent.
やっ
Please
ぱ
call
り
me
誰
York.
彼構わ
That's
ず
what
か。
everyone calls me.
Agent York? So,
この方もなかなか立派なものをお持ちで。
I already told the police everything I know about Lee's.
Emma, I haven't come here to talk to you about Lise. Although I suppose it's sort of connected in a way. My darling is broken, and I need you to fix her.
You call your board your darling? I never heard that one before. All right, let me see it. I'll try and assess the damage. I replaced all your trucks, wheels, and gave you some brand new deck tape. Also, you were missing a tail guard, so I put one on for you. That way you should be able to do a few tricks here and there without any risk of damage. Well, what do you think?
It's beautiful, Emma.
The wheels were scraped down and the base plate screws were all about to fall out. Oh, and the axles were also warped. It was pretty much in critical condition.
アクルしか知らないんですけどね。
How did it get that way?
Well, my car was stolen on my way here from Houston. So, I switched over to my darling and rode her here instead.
You know, you're crazier than you look.
うん、そうですね。完全にぶっ飛んでると思いますよ
Emma,
ね。
would you mind answering another crazy question
ぶ
for
っ
me?
飛びついで。
I want to use this board to soar, literally. Would you mind teaching me a trick that would allow me to do so?
You mean you want to do a Wally? Ooh, well, I'd be happy to teach you how, but it's too cramped in here. Oh, I know where we should go.
エマさんもかなり整ってますよね。
You want to learn too? You sure? Seems like you're interested. Whatever. I know you're just gonna come along anyway. So you should at least learn the basics.
「スケボーレースをクリアしてウォーリーを体得する」。スケボーレース？廃工場。
Okay, Agent York. Now we should have enough room to practice. I'll show you how it's done first, then you just practice till you learn how to do it, okay?
またすごいミニゲームみたいなの始まりそうですね。うん。いや、加速がめちゃくちゃ足りないように見えるんですけど。ミラクルですね、ミラクル。あの加速で。ウォーリーはキッカーから飛び出すのに重要なトリックです。キッカーを使って高い障害物を乗り越えることができます。タイミングよく L を押すことで高く飛び出すことができます。タイミングよく L を押す。スケボーレースでは3用のグラフィティから始めることができます。フラッグを指定時間内に全て獲得するとクリアとなります。スケボーレースをする。スケボーレースをしてまあ、ウォーリーを体読しないといけないのかな。もうめちゃくちゃ普通にゲームやってるけど、これ。飛ぶな。このなんかマリオみたいなコイン何なんでしょうね。おっとっと。なんだこの決め顔。なんだこの決め顔。日焼け止めクリーム。あ、なんか商品もらえるんだ。缶コーラを入手しました。黒フィッシュのコーラを入手しました。いや、何このノリがわからない。ウォーリーを習得しました。ハイ列車ウォーリーで飛び越える。いや、みんな忘れてるかもしれないですけど、この方、FBI 捜査官ですからね。
Yeah. Thank you, Emma. I only learned that new trick thanks to your guidance.
新たな技を習得できたじゃねえよ。
Now I'm sure that Zach and I will be able to reach our destination without any trouble at all. Thank you for assisting in the investigation.
Glad to be of service. If your board breaks again, or you feel like customizing it a bit more, just stop on by my workshop. I'm pretty much always there during the day. I'm also taking some time off school because of what happened with Lise. Skating and playing music are the only things that help me escape the pain of losing her.
エマさんも心に深い傷を負ってるんですね。
Zach, did you see the expression on her face just now? She works hard to act cheerful, but she's yet another person who was hurt by the tragedy. Lisa's death is like wildfire, spreading embers of sadness throughout the entire town.
なんかちょっと私的なこと言ったら全部チャラにできると思ったら大間違いですからね。インセンス。スケボーレース。愛の力。もうどんどんアンロックされたけどさっぱりわかんなくなりましたね。とはいえ次の目的はね、本来の目的はそもそもが、第一発見者のところにね、向かうっていうところが目的だったんですけども、なんやかんやでちょっと長くなってる気がするので、一旦ちょっとこちらで区切りとさせていただきたいと思います。パトリシアさん、ちょっとこっち向いてください。こっち向いておこうかな。ではね、今回も長時間、すごい嫌われてるみたいになってる。今回もね、長時間お付き合いいただきましてありがとうございました。また次回の動画で皆さんとお会いできれば幸いです。チャンネル登録や高評価などいただけますと励みになりますのでよろしくお願いいたします。では、お疲れ様でした。じゃあね。